Welcome to another edition of ClearTalk. I'm Brad Dempsey, CEO of Solutions 360, and I'm very happy today to have with me Pat Doyle, co-founder of Inspect Point. Welcome, Pat. How are you doing today?
Good. Pleasure to be here. Thanks, Brad.
So maybe we could start. Could you just give me a little bit of background? How did Inspect Point start?
Sure. Like you mentioned, Pat Doyle, CEO, co-founder of Inspect Point. We've been in business, almost 10 years now. Uh, uh, Nothing too exciting on the origin story. We were coming, my wife and I, who was also a co-founder, uh, we were looking for our next adventure. We teamed up with our other two co-founders. There's four of us actually. And we really wanted to do a couple of things. One thing is we were looking for a market we thought was underserved by software at the time. And we were looking for a market or a vertical rather that was large enough where we thought we could build a meaningful business, but at the time, still flying under the radar, still small enough where some of the more broader horizontal SM players weren't playing yet. And we kind of tapped our network. And my one co-founder, Drew, he comes from the fire life safety world. And our other co-founder, Phil, we had a good friend of ours who was in a sprinkler contractor. So we started looking around and we're like, hey, there might be something here. Really quickly, we pivoted away from, let's just call it traditional field service management software. And we went more on the inspection side. So we really thought we could serve a market there that was underserved at the time. We could get our foot in the door on inspections. And then we could really start working on some of those service features we originally intended to develop. We thought that would take around a year to do that. 10 years later, we're still working on inspections because inspections and fire life safety, fire protection are highly nuanced and difficult. We're always trying to keep up with the various codes and the needs of our customers. So, we're still chipping away at it, and we're still, shipping software our customers use every day.
Well, I can tell you after 40 some odd years in the software business, it never changes. It just moves faster each week. Absolutely. So is your background more technology or is it from the fire and safety world?
Yeah, it's actually technology. So
Okay.
I have a formal CS degree. I used to write code. I
Ah,
think my CTO and engineering team are probably happy I don't try to ship production code. It's been around 6 years since I've done that. Funny enough, three of the four co-founders did not come from the industry. Drew really brings the industry expertise, and the rest of us come from software startups and software engineering.
yeah, Drew does a great job. I read his LinkedIn articles all the time, and actually, I was just going through the one where you had done that survey, the industry survey, and I was on his podcast, which was a lot of fun. He does a great job.
Yeah. Hopefully, I can live up to Drew's podcast
Hmm.
high bar. But I think it was important early on for us to have a voice of the industry internal in the company. Like it's a pretty it gave us a lot of social proof to sell to our customers that we could talk the talk. And more importantly, that kind of voice of the customer and the industry, it's reflected in the software, right? I think if someone from another vertical, if we tried to sell into another vertical that was very far not adjacent to fire life safety, people would be able to spot that really quickly. And that gives us our advantage against some other just generic inspection platforms.
Very true. I mean, we can certainly relate to that because we've had fire safety customers for a long time, and for the longest time they were literally dealing with PDFs. Now we do document management in Q360, but this was all new to us about 15 years ago or so. The whole concept. We had never heard of an NFPA 72 or any of these other reports. It was very, very eye-opening. So they managed them fairly manually in Q360, which is why I'm so excited about our partnership. Um, I do want to compliment you on the quality of your team. I've been working with some of them directly with the integration. They're very talented and passionate and great to work with. So I'm really looking forward to a long and fruitful partnership.
Yeah, thanks. Same here. I'm sure you're similar. We're always looking for win-win with partnerships, and more importantly, though, working with, uh, motivated and great partners. And I'd second that. But it's always great when we're all rowing in the same direction, and the communication is quick on both sides. And this is really important for us as well. We got to where we are without partnerships. We're catching up. So for us to partner with folks like yourself, it makes our job a lot easier, and we really appreciate how well we've been working together. So
Well, I can't speak highly enough of having a direct connection like we do. I mean, we're on a chat in Slack, of course, and the information goes back and forth instantaneously, and it's seen by the entire group. It's so much more efficient than trying to do that with email, or some of the back and forth or weekly meetings that you might have with other partners. So that's been a very effective medium.
yeah, the feedback loop has been great, especially like from the development side, and now more on the go-to-market side, and having things like this, the joint podcast, it's been nice to see where I sit. I'm sure you can say the same. And it's like I said, we just started to dip our toe into partnerships, so maybe we were spoiled on how well this one's turning out. So
So I actually just recently downloaded the survey, your 2025 Fire and Life Safety Industry Report. I saw one of Drew's posts on LinkedIn and pulled it down. Highly recommend anybody who's interested to take a look at it. Can you give me a little bit of the background of that? And is this something you do on an annual basis? Was this your first one? How does this happen?
yeah, it's something we, obviously it's a playbook other you've seen other verticals, and it's something we always wanted to do. If anything, I would say about, I'm sure every software company or anyone who works with a particular vertical will say this, but I'll say this about ours. Like our customers, you probably have seen this too, Brad, with the customers you work with. They're very passionate about this industry. There's a lot of multi-generational businesses out there, and you know, 10 years ago, if you told me we were gonna put out a podcast for fire life safety, I would say no one would listen to it. And I was proven wrong, because our industry loves content. They love learning about what's going on. We sit in a unique position where, we have 1,000+ customers in the space, and 99.9% of them are in this vertical. So we do have access to some great data. We have access to some great thought leaders in the industry. So our marketing team does a great job putting this together. It is a lot of work on their end. It's a multi-month project. This is, I believe, the second year we've done it, and it's gotten better year over year, and it's something that the entire company looks forward to seeing it come out. So we're excited. It drives a lot of interest, and we want to keep. I push the marketing team, and I think that they're going to answer their call to get better each year. So hopefully, even next year, we'll see another great survey come out. So
Great. One of the things I was interested to see is a lot of the main challenges that you laid out in that survey are things which I think we can actually help with. We talked about labor, for example. One of the things we really focus on is labor capacity planning and labor management. And we do that not just from the inspection side or the service side, but we bring together all of your labor, whether it's project-based, contract-based, whatever, and divide them into different skill categories, and then allow you over a weekly, monthly basis up to 24 months out to understand what labor schedules look like. We even overlay sales opportunities, so you can do what if analysis. If we win these deals and we have to install, all of these sprinkler systems or whatever, what's that going to mean to our labor demand? So
yeah, no, I mean, that's what excites us about this partnership, right? Like, I mentioned earlier in the call, we thought inspections would take us, a year, maybe 2 years tops, and we'd be writing all these other cool features, things like you guys have. And then we realized that for a large majority of our larger customers, we're just not going to be able to meet their needs. Where we can meet their needs is on the compliance side, is on the inspection side, is on the mobile side. And we need to partner with folks like yourself to get these like really features that they need and they crave. But we know that like it's not in our core competency to roll out. So that's why I really think this is a good win-win partnership.
Absolutely, and we're in the same boat. I would not want to start having to deal with the compliance bodies that you have to deal with, and the regulations, and it's two-way, right? It's not just the inspections you do, but it's the uploading or sending of inspections to the, what do they call them, AHJs, authorities having jurisdiction, et cetera. All new terms, that we've learned over the last few years. It's an incredibly complex. And then there's California, which has their own set of rules, right?
Yeah, exactly. There's lots of it's supposed to be a national code, of course, but we
Mhm.
laugh because not only do we have to handle different jurisdictions having their own codes, but different jurisdictions being on separate code years, which is a main struggle in our industry. Our industry has several trades. Those trades are on different, different code standards in different years, and all that comes out of the box with Inspect Point. Um, when I look at our customer base, our smaller customers are struggling with inspections, and that's their biggest pain point. We help them there, right? And they're realizing, hey, we hired these folks to do X, Y, and Z in the company, and they're all helping on the inspection side. So we can free up their time to go back to do all the stuff they need to do to make them successful. We get a little bit bigger, those folks we might be able to, or we try to be an all-in-one solution because they have very simpler back office use cases, right? And we're able to match those. Everyone else, it's where we need partners like yourself to do some of the things that you just mentioned. And I'm sure, depending on how long we want to be in this call, we can think of a lot of other things too, right? That's where we kind of get out of the way and we really can nail the inspection side of things. And you mentioned clear communication channels earlier. That's where it helps, right? Because the things we both do great on our own, we can have an open conversation, something like deficiency management, and say, hey, maybe it makes sense not to do that in Inspect Point, even though we do it really well. Maybe it makes sense to do it up in Solutions 360. So I don't know if you've thought about that at all, but that's what I really love about it. So
I would agree. And it takes a mature relationship to have that give and take. We're even looking at, are there more pure service cases where we can use the Inspect Point app? So,
yeah.
it's together we are stronger. I know it sounds a little corny, but it's absolutely true in this case. So,
Yeah, totally.
so let me ask you this: what do you see in the future for Inspect Point? What's your biggest push going forward for the next year or two?
Yeah, I think there's a couple things that we have to constantly make sure that we maintain our moat to be best in class on inspections, right? Like it's literally in the name, right? Inspect Point. We want to make sure that there's not an edge case that we can't handle on the inspection sides for our customers. We still think there is a lot of room, a lot of greenfield left in North America when it comes to inspections, and we want to gobble up as much as we can. Um, we are investing in that kind of small mid-market customer who doesn't need some of the is not ready for more sophisticated back office features. And to be honest, they don't have the IT team to help with an integration if there's not one out of the box, right? And then after that, there's a lot of cool things we can do, like I can't go on a podcast without talking about AI, right? I'm sure
Mhm.
that is in some of your roadmap as well. And I challenge the team, say, hey, a year ago, this was something we had a box we had to check, right? Of what AI features we could do. Like the technology has gotten so much better. What can we do within our platform to actually provide value to our customers in the compliance and inspection piece when it comes to AI? And I think our product engineering teams are really, hitting some home runs there, and we'd like to get some of those out the door pretty soon. So,
Yeah, just like you, we've invested some full-time staff into AI. We're spending a lot of energy there. It really is something that a lot of companies have just figured. I just need to add the two letters AI somewhere, so it's on the checklist, and that just doesn't cut it.
yeah,
It's not just product facing; it's also how you use it internally. I mean, you're a computer science grad, so you understand what it means to coding. I mean, I still do some coding, primarily database SQL type stuff, but a day doesn't go by if I'm using SQL. I don't ask ChatGPT, or we use the internal OpenAI engine through Azure, where I don't ask it some questions about code. You know, Why
Yeah.
write anything from scratch? It's changing everything. And then whether you're looking at legal documents, whether you're comparing contracts, whether you're just trying to help yourself write a better email, a clearer email to your customer, it's everywhere. It's ubiquitous. It's going to be affecting every single person in every organization.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, it starts with technology focused organizations like ourselves. And then it's like, how can we empower our customers to use this technology within our tools to meet their goals? And that's how it's a two-pronged approach that we kind of take. It's one, how can we gain efficiency and not shrink teams, but get more output out, with our small team. And then two, it's like, how can we roll some of these features in our product so our customers can start realizing the benefits while they focus on being out in the field, or they focus on, all the things they have to do, plus some in the back office that both our software platforms are helping with. It's like, how can we help them even more with some of these features? And that's what's really exciting. So.
Very much. And one of the things that's encouraged me about AI is a lot of the things that I use it for are things that I just didn't like doing. So
Yeah.
it's not like I look at it and I think, oh my goodness, this thing's going to take my job. But
Yeah.
I don't have to do that anymore. I can get AI to take care of that for me. So it's a two-edged sword. There's
Yeah,
a lot of
it
benefits.
definitely, for me, it solves the blank page,
Mm,
the blank
yeah,
page problem, the
yeah.
inertia of getting something done. And then, we're trying, like, even day to day, how I leverage it personally in my day job as CEO changes a lot. So,
Hmm. Very much.
yeah.
Oh, do you have any final thoughts or comments before we sign off here?
Uh, again, thank you for having me. Like, it was a lot of fun. I will say again, it's not just talk, like the way our teams are working together has been great. I can't wait to see like the evolution of this partnership as we go along. And I'm real excited. So
Well, I feel the same way, and I look forward to how we collaborate even on AI. I think we've got some exciting research I'm sure we can share. So
yeah, we can have an AI focused podcast next time, Brad. So
sounds great.
okay.
Well, Pat, it's been a real pleasure. Thank you very much for your time today.
Likewise, thank you.